Hello everybody, this is Dan Nozaki with Alliance Group, and today I wanted to talk about what people are calling the rich man's Roth. This is a video designed for business owners, doctors, dentists, nurses that are earning above a $200,000 income per year. First, let's talk about the traditional Roth IRA. There's limits to investing in a Roth IRA based off of income and based off of how much money you can invest per year. So if you're single earning over $116,000 per year, you're not allowed to contribute into a Roth IRA. If you're a married couple earning $193,000 a year, you're not allowed to contribute into a Roth IRA. If you were a little bit under those numbers and you actually could invest in a Roth IRA, there's limits to how much you can invest per year, which is approximately $5,500. A lot of the clients that I have that are earning over $200,000 a year invest tens of thousands of dollars in their retirement plan, and $5,500 a year is not enough to achieve their retirement goals. So there's a lot of restrictions on the traditional Roth IRA. So let me ask you a simple question. If the government is putting restrictions on the amount of money you can earn to invest in a Roth, and they're also putting restrictions on how much money you can invest in a Roth, would you agree with me that that would be a good sign that it's something good to invest in if the government has to put income restrictions and investment restrictions on it? I feel so, and so that's the reason why we're talking about this today. So fortunately, we have a plan that has all the tax benefits of a Roth, but has none of the restrictions as far as income or the amount you can invest. I call it the rich man's Roth. You might know it as the Index Universal Life Plan, or an IUL. Why is tax-free retirement so important? Let's talk about that for a little bit. Us as a nation, we owe over $18 trillion in national debt. This debt has to be paid back, and it will not be able to be paid back in our generation, our kids' generation, maybe our great-grandchildren's generation. Experts say that two things have to happen in order for us to lower the national debt. The government has to spend less money as a nation per year, and we have to increase taxes. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you feel that in the future, our government is going to be spending less money than it is today? Probably not. But I'll tell you what, income taxes are going up. Last year, the top income tax bracket was 36%. They increased it to 39%. If you look at the last century of income taxes, we're at one of the lowest income tax rates in the history of income taxes in our nation. Let's think about the baby boomers right now. There's about 65 million baby boomers, and most of them are still in the workforce paying income taxes. So let's just look at this for a second. So if the total amount of people in the workforce, let's just say is 100 million people right now, and they tax each one of us $1, that's $100 million. In the next 55 years, most of the baby boomers are going to be retired. Let's just say the workforce drops down to 50 million. In order for the government to get the same $100 million, they're going to have to tax each person $2 instead of $1. That's the same concept that's applied now and is going to be applied in the future. Income taxes have to go up. Just a side note, in 1944, the top tax rate was 94%, okay? It might not go up to 94% in the future, but I'll tell you it's going to be a lot higher than 39% just because of the way Social Security is going, our national debt, and a bunch of other factors. This is the reason why wealthy people understand that tax-free retirement is a very important concept. In 2010, when they allowed the wealthy to convert their traditional 401ks into Roth IRAs, $64 billion was converted from a traditional 401k plan into a Roth conversion. Why would the wealthy people convert $64 billion into a tax-free vehicle? What I always say is, whatever the wealthy people are doing is an indication of what all of us should be doing. So if they feel that they should take the penalties now and the taxes now to convert their $64 billion into a Roth conversion plan, then maybe it's time for people that are earning over $200,000 a year to consider investing in a rich man's Roth. People always tell me, they say, Dan, when I retire, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket. If you plan correctly, you better hope you're not in a lower tax bracket. Because of inflation, you're going to need to be earning more money than you're currently earning now to keep up with inflation. Let's talk about that for a second. So because of inflation, you're going to need to earn more money than you're currently earning now in your retirement years. In 1980, the average household income was $19,000. Today, it's about $52,000. The average car in 1980 cost about $9,000. Now the average vehicle costs about $32,000. The average home in 1980 was about $96,000. Today, the national average for a home is about $312,000. So you can see that the cost of living is doubling, even tripling, quadrupling. So by the time you retire, taxes are going to be one of the biggest problems you're going to face in your retirement years. Clients always say, Dan, I need to save on taxes today. And what they're talking about is tax deferral. Let's talk about tax deferral for a quick second. Tax deferral is just another way of saying postponing your taxes. You're not getting a tax savings now. You're just postponing the time when you have to pay taxes. So let me give you a couple examples. Let's just say that we were farmers and the government gave you a choice. You can either pay tax on the seed you plant and harvest, and at your harvest you sell your produce and you get to keep all of the money. Or the government will give you a choice where you don't have to pay tax on the seed. You plant all and get a bountiful harvest, and then you pay tax on your harvest. Now think about that for a quick second. Would you rather pay tax on the seed or the bountiful harvest? When you invest in a traditional 401k, 403b, or 457, you're postponing the inevitable. You're postponing the inevitable. You're going to pay taxes later, and you're going to pay more taxes in the future. Let me give you one more example. Let's just say that we're going to go buy a home today, and we went to the banker, and the banker says, Mr. Smith, you're approved for your bank loan. What's the two questions that you're going to ask the banker? What interest am I going to pay, and how long do I have to pay it back? What happens if the banker told you, well, we're going to approve you for this loan, but we're going to determine the interest that you're going to pay at a later date, and we have the right to increase the interest rate every single year if we so choose to, and we'll tell you when you can pay back the loan in the future. Would you take that loan? Absolutely not. Well, that's the same thing that's happening with your qualified accounts like your 401ks, 403bs, 457s. So basically, in that scenario, you're basically allowing the government to tell you at a later date how much money they're going to take from your retirement fund. And that's the reason why you cannot plan properly for your retirement when you don't know what the tax rate is going to be 20 or 30 years from now. So we have a retirement plan that I feel is much better than a Roth because it's guaranteed not to lose money. Have you been watching the stock market lately? It's like a roller coaster ride. Lately, it's been going down. So you ride the roller coaster of the highs and the lows. With this rich man's Roth, we guarantee that you don't lose any money in your account when the stock market's losing money. It also gives you the tax-free retirement element that we talked about earlier. So the IUL gives you a tax-free retirement plan, and it also guarantees that you never run out of income in your lifetime. It also does double duty and protects you and your family in case of accidental death or a critical illness such as a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. For you business owners, doctors, dentists, business owners, nurses, if you had a critical illness such as a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, how would your income suffer in the year that you needed to recuperate? We have income replacement built into this plan. So for you business owners that are watching this video, do you have a buy-sell agreement? When's the last time you actually took a look at your buy-sell agreement? Do you have a way to fund your buy-sell agreement? Do you have key persons insurance for key employees or partners that you have? And is it the old type of key persons insurance that only covers your partner or your key person in case of death? You need to take a look at the new living benefits key persons insurance that covers you or your partners in case of a critical illness, such as a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. Think about if your partner had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer and was out for a year. How would your business suffer? We have income replacement for key persons insurance for buy-sell agreements that include these living benefits, which is a much more added benefit for this type of contract. Think about it. The chances of you or a key person or your partner dying opposed to getting a critical illness such as a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, there's a greater percentage chance that they're going to have a critical illness. And that's the reason why we specialize with small business owners to cover you in case this happens. These are serious questions that business owners need to ask themselves. Do you know how much income you're going to need in your retirement years? Do you know how much money it's going to take to save from now till then? That's the reason why you need to talk to a specialized agent from the Alliance Group to actually get that information and customize a plan for you guys. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is this is Tony Robbins' latest book. It's called Money, Master the Game. In this book, he's talking about the Index Universal Life. 8 years ago when I started my first YouTube video, I told you that this plan was going to go mainstream. And now, 8 years later, it is going mainstream. This is a plan that everybody needs, especially small business owners, for all the reasons that we talked about earlier. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. Again, my name is Nozaki with Alliance Group. Thanks everybody, and call an Alliance agent to get more details on this.